Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the MultiDimensional MD. I'm Dr. Arlene Diamco. I'm an integrative physician, a pediatrician, and cranial osteopath, and my mission is to help bring the intuitive spirit back to medicine in a practical and tangible way. Today, I wanted to talk to you about COVID-19 stress, but also boosting resilience, building resilience, because there are actionable ways that are known to strengthen resilience in kids and adults. And I feel like we all could tap into some of that right now. So this talk today is going to be a little bit different because it's going to be, I have some slides actually, and it's a talk that I was supposed to give over the weekend, but I didn't get to because I went surfing for the first time and I wiped out and I got sand in my eye. So I was just letting my eye recover and it's completely fine now. But I want to pull up these slides here. So COVID-19 stress and resilience. So let me see how to do this. Okay, there we go. There are some obvious stressors. Of course, everyone knows with COVID, with so much uncertainty, there's been many moves, there's changes in jobs, loss of jobs, changes in schools, changes in daycare or lack of daycare. People have been isolated. There's been so much fear of COVID, and there's also been so many types of grief. So I feel like I'm stating the obvious here, right? Because we know that there are so many stressors here with COVID. And you have to figure, there we go. And who is at risk? Well, there are certain groups that are more at risk. And of course, those healthcare frontline workers that are in the hospitals dealing with COVID day in and day out, young adults ages 18 through 24, women with children, the elderly, and people with chronic illness, as well as people of color. So they're more at risk for having anxiety and depression. But the thing is that really everybody is at risk for some kind of COVID stress. And it's what can we do about it? So I didn't want to focus so much on the stress because we know that there is stress with COVID in this pandemic. And sometimes going through a stressful situation together can bring people together. Sometimes it can tear people apart. So how can we go through this and really like boost our own resilience as well as the resilience in our families and also feel like we're more connected with each other? So the first step really is to make sure that you are addressing basic needs, because you cannot really, if you don't have your basic needs met, then you can't really access like higher thinking or innovation. It's so much harder, like you're just in a constant state of stress. So if not getting enough sleep, that's going to affect your cortisol levels. If you're not moving your body, you're going to have a lot of tension in your body, and that tension is holding on to all that stress. So just getting enough rest, moving your body, so easing out any tension in your body, because all of those emotions that are stuck there and all of these things that are weighing down on us, they are hidden into the body as tension. So any kind of stress makes the body want to curl up like in fetal position. So that's why your core will get tight and your shoulders will kind of like curl in like this, and you'll feel the weight of the world on you or on your chest, and you'll just feel like really tight. So if you make sure to just move your body every day somehow, first thing in the morning, a morning walk, getting that morning sunlight is really great for you because that morning sunlight is known to boost serotonin levels, and it is helpful in raising mood, lifting your mood. So if we did like some simple things and just did small things consistently, then it can make a huge difference in our overall well-being. So I would just take a note of like, okay, I'm going to get more sleep. I'm going to get up in the morning, go for a quick brisk walk, get that morning sunlight, know that it's just going to get everything moving in your body, and that it really helps to lift your mood, and also to eat nourishing foods, because it's hard for your physiology to function if you do not have the basic needs really there fueling it. So step one is always to go back, look at basic needs. This is whether for yourself or for your family, your kids. Always back up, go to basic needs, especially when you're starting to feel really wound up and stressed. Then this is where you start. Start with basic needs, because you don't want to be hangry or tired, angry, tangry, hangry, all of those things. And my kids will call me out on it all the time. So they know if I'm tired, they're like, Mommy, just go rest. Or Mommy, could I bring you something to eat? So they know how important these things are. The next thing is to connect with other living beings. Somehow you need to feel connected in the world. And this is whether with other people, pets, animals, nature, plants. Plants count. If you are a plant lover or have like house plants or just have a garden, that counts. And yourself, because that is really important. Really, it all comes down to how connected am I to myself first, and then I can connect to other living beings. And this is, if you live by yourself, then you will have to decide like how you want to do this, like whether you have contact with your neighbors or you have people that you can have see in person, or it's about making a phone call, if you need to Zoom, or if you have a pet. And this is why so many people got pandemic puppies and animals, and because it's just feeling that need to feel connected with another living being and having that excitement of shared experience. So this is really important to keep you going, especially during difficult times. The third thing is to create some sort of sense of perceived control. I know that one of the hardest things is that with the pandemic, things just seem completely out the window. We do not know what to expect on a day-to-day basis, week-to-week basis. There's so many things going on. So you create a sense of perceived control. I say perceived because it's like we don't really know what's going to happen, but it sure feels good if we knew a little bit. Like it feels nice, like if you had somewhat of a schedule for the day. So however you can create that sense of perceived control for yourself, whether it's creating a schedule or planning out your meals so you know, okay, this is what I'm going to eat then, or creating a small haven in your home. It could just be a corner where it's like, this is my safety nest where I can retreat. You could just read there, meditate, listen to music, whatever you want to do in your little safe haven. So creating like these small areas where you feel that you have created a world for yourself and you have control over it. It could simply be about completing small projects, and whether it's like, yes, I checked off I completed the laundry, and celebrating like small tasks of what you were able to accomplish for the day. So it's not about necessarily having to like run through a to-do list, but it's creating some sense of control in your life. And I mean, I know that for my kids, they always like to know what's going on. Like if you don't tell the kids what you're doing for the day, if you were just going to go off and like get in the car and drive an hour away and go for a hike, and they had no idea that they were going to do that, they, even though it's a fun thing to do, they would be somewhat upset. Unless it was built up as we're going to have some sort of surprise, so this is an element of surprise, but that's different than just feeling like out of control and not knowing what is to come. So within this pandemic world of not knowing what's going on, we create some sense of perceived control. The fourth thing is to incorporate some kind of breath work or meditation. And there are so many examples of this. I just listed a few here. One of the first ones is guided imagery. This tends to be one of the easier ones to do, especially if you're new to meditation. You could do guided imagery or guided breath work. There are so many apps right now, and you just listen and follow along. And you can also use just like some simple like breathing exercises, like make the exhale at least twice as long as the inhale. The exhale represents like a more calming part of the nervous system, the parasympathetic part of the nervous system. So when you emphasize the exhale, and this is a nice slow inhale and then a slow exhale, at least twice as long. So when you do that, what it does is it helps to calm the nervous system. And even if you just did like 4 breaths like that, you don't have to breathe like that all day long. But anytime you're feeling kind of wound up or stressed, then when you think of it, then go ahead and practice that kind of breathing. Another one that I really love to do is, I wrote down here, it says sphere of love meditation, which anytime I am feeling maybe unsure, or even if I'm feeling kind of like run down or my head's not clear, then I will sit and meditate. And what I'll do is allow myself to be however I am at that moment, whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm feeling. And then I will surround myself with this huge sphere of love, like a big giant nest, so that this nest is so big and this love is so all-encompassing that no matter what I feel, however I am at that moment, that it can embrace it. And so I allow myself to just kind of be in this sphere for as long as I need to. And usually, very quickly, it will start to feel just a softening. And I'll just stay there again as long as needed until that softening just kind of spreads all throughout my body. And I feel like a lightness where that tension of thought or body, it just kind of eases out some. And this really helps in terms of like physical resilience and resilience of the mind, resilience of emotion. So many things. You can use it for all of those things. If you feel like you're coming down with something, I'll do that. And you can often like turn it around before it really takes off. Number 5, inspiration through the arts. The thing is that we all need to be able to express ourselves somehow, and our voices need to come out. We need to feel seen and heard. And of course, first, we need to do that for ourselves, because it's very hard for other people to see and hear us if we do not see and hear ourselves. A great way to do that is through the arts, whether the visual arts, music, dance, writing, photography, really any art. And so many things can be an art. And it's how you can get your voice out. And by voice, it can be literal voice, or it can be through movement, so expressive expression through the movement. So it can be like that metaphorical voice as well. Sometimes I'll do, I'm not a singer, but sometimes I'll do vocal exercises. I'll just go on YouTube. There's some great sites of just practicing, like warming up your voice, or vocal exercises for singers. And I find this is such a neat thing to do, because your body loves the vibration of your own voice. It's soothing to it, especially when it's your own voice expressing authentically. So exactly how you're feeling, exactly what you're thinking. So if you're able to get that through the emotion of song or any art, then you can do that. So, but through when I was talking about like just practicing those vocal exercises, it just, that vibration, it just goes all throughout you, can be felt all throughout. And that's another great thing to do. I'll do any of these. It just depends on what I feel like at the moment, or at the on the day, what I feel like I need, and where the ease is. So that's the best way, is like, where's the ease for myself for that moment? What do I need at this moment? And how can I express my voice at this moment in a way that feels not trying? So whether you do that through singing, if you just simply sing, let that vibration just vibrate through, just as you sing, really feel it. And that can be really healing. So whatever kind of mood you're in, then it allows that to come out of the cells of your body. It does not have to be stuck in your body. And it does not, so then you'll be more resilient to illness, and more resilient to stress, so that you can keep going. Number 6, gratitude, always, right? Because where you focus grows. And I know that people talk about gratitude a lot, but it can be difficult, of course, when things are really challenging. Sometimes it's hard for people to think of, what am I thankful for? So you could just start by asking the question, what am I thankful for? And then let your mind, your subconscious, start to come up with answers for it. So even if you don't have an answer at that moment, then at least your subconscious will start getting to work for you. And if you can come up with some small things, it can be really helpful to just boost your spirits. And I know how hard this is when things are difficult. And when my dad had passed earlier this year, I had to really sink into what I was thankful for. And part of it was during his transition, I really wanted to be present for it. So I felt so thankful that I got to be there for this really important moment in my life, and the transition of his life, and to be there with my mom too. And so, it's that bittersweetness, but I was really motivated to stay grounded and present, because I wanted to be there, and that's what I was thankful for. And so that's what I was really embracing for the moment of, even though it was such a sad moment. So even in difficult moments, there are things that are still really beautiful and things that you can be thankful for. And of course, when someone you love crosses over, it really makes everything else much more precious. So all your interactions after that are definitely much more precious. You really are thankful for the time that you have with anybody, with each person that you're with for the day, or speak to for the day, or write a message to. So, and anything. And so, to keep that gratitude, and it will keep lifting you up over and over. Number 7, hope. Hope is more than a wish. It's more than optimism. It's a deep trust that all is well and will work out as it's supposed to. And it's God's will instead of our will. And that can be difficult, but the hope that is a deep confidence that things will work out as we'd like them to. And it's not about being lazy, waiting. It's as long as you keep taking steps going forward, you will get to where you're supposed to be. Just like the tree grows up and up, or a flower grows and blooms, it doesn't have to think about it, right? So we are just the same as nature, and we have that hope built within us. So all we have to do is keep hoping, and we keep taking steps forward. Because as long as we keep taking steps going forward, then we will get to where we're supposed to be. It is nature. We don't even have to try so hard. It's the only thing we need to do is to keep the momentum of taking the steps. So that's the free will. But if we realize that we are part of this nature, and we will continue to grow without even trying, as we keep taking steps, we will get to where we want to be. And that is so much hope, and hope in so many different forms, in so many different ways. Hope for your kids, for your friends, for your family. And I realize that sometimes it doesn't turn out how we want it to be. That's okay. But we can always hope for what we'd like, because it's like a sacred intention. Hope is almost like it makes like thought more holy, because it's when you hope, you have a deep trust that something bigger than you is helping you and taking care of you. And so you kind of sink into that deep trust, and you feel it all through your body. So hope is not just a mental thing. Hope is like a whole being feeling. And when you hope, you don't know what might unfold, but I feel it will make it more likely to tip it in your favor if you continue to hope. So number 8 is prayer. And I won't, of course, this is so personal, and this is up to you how you want to do it. But to have some sort of conversation with the divine, with God, with the universe, however you would like to do it, but to start some kind of conversation, because we need to realize that we are part of something bigger to help us boost ourselves along. Because when you realize you are part of the ocean, so maybe you're a drop of water, but you're part of the ocean. And so being a part of that ocean, you're actually so much stronger and have so much more resilience than you might think you have as a drop of water. So getting in touch with something that is bigger than you also helps to boost that resilience. And that's about it. I want to give a quick shout out to my mom's medical school class, University of Santo Tomas, class of 1970. And they had a delayed celebration, very small, of 50 years. And so to me, they represent the epitome of resilience, because many of these qualities that I talked about, these keys to resilience, this class has. They stay connected, they help each other, they hope despite all odds, and they build each other up. So yeah, congratulations to my mom and her class. And thank you all for joining me here for another episode of the MultiDimensional MD. Lots of love to you. I will see you next time, next week, 11 o'clock, Wednesday, EST. And if you haven't already, please like or subscribe. You could also find me on Instagram at All Worlds Health, on Facebook at All Worlds Health and Pediatrics, and on TikTok now at at the MultiDimensional MD. So thank you. Take care.